Not helpful, Billy.
Hello. So here I have my QNAP 8-bay TS1310 NAS. I've had this for quite a long time now. I think it dates from about 2016, and it's been pretty reliable with its 6 8TB drives. I've had one drive recently fail on the Seagate Iron Wolf, so literally just replaced that last week. But I thought I want to do potentially more, or something a bit quicker, a bit more flexible on this QNAP. I've become a little bit, I've gone off the software that it runs a bit. I've had a lot of freezes and pauses and not a lot, there's just little funny weird things happening. And recently I've been using a TrueNAS Scale box, which I built for running VMs, and I thought, maybe I should build a TrueNAS Scale box to actually run as a NAS. Its name kind of gives away, it's a TrueNAS. So all these drives I will move across into a new PC, but yeah, so this will be out, and this is its replacement. So this is a Fujitsu Primergy TX1310 M1. So that's a little bit old, but I like these Fujitsu boxes. I'm using a slightly more modern one as my other TrueNAS Scale box, which is my VM host. I'm also running a Fujitsu box as my desktop PC. They are very cheap off eBay, and they are pretty much silent. So yeah, so I'm going to stick all the drives in this. It should run TrueNAS Scale just fine. It's a Xeon something or other. I've got 32 gig in it, and let's have a quick look inside to see where the drives go. And yeah, so you can see that's where the 32 gig is. It has all these. It has these little like adapters that go on the side of your drives to slide them in. Rails, that's the word I'm looking for. So there's a drive bay there, and a little 2.5-inch bay there, which I won't be using. There's two more 2.5-inch drive bays here, so that's 4 drives. And then for the last 2 drives, I'm going to put them in these 5.25 to 3.5-inch adapters. So the optical drive. So as a boot drive though, I'm going to use a PCI Express M2 SATA SSD. I've got this little PCI Express ×1 card here. It's got a 64 gig drive on it, and that'll be plenty for the actual OS. Now another thing I want to do actually by using a PC instead of that QNAP is, although I've got 2 1 gig Ethernets here along with the other normal ports, I want to look at potentially going 10 gig in the future. I'm going to use this is a PCI Express 2x1 gig card. Use this for now, and I'll bond those 2 ports together. It's nice having extra ports because I can kind of configure this machine using the one on board here to get it up and running. And once it's up and running, I can then configure the LACP and the load balancing across these 2 ports. So I'll go through that, how these 2 ports can work in a little while. I also use VLANs, so I can show you how that works. So this has got 6 onboard SATA ports. There's 5 in a row there, 1 next to it, so that can run all 6 of my drives. But just in case I have any issues using those all 6 with TrueNAS, I do have I think this is an HP or some sort of LSI logic SAS SATA PCI Express RAID controller thing. That's got 4 ports that I could use for the SATA drives, which I know also works. I don't think I'll need that. Just quickly show you the cooling in here. So there's the big CPU fan, also an 80mm fan. Then there's these 2 really big 120mm fans, which can run pretty slowly and move a lot of air through. So that cools the drives at the bottom, in the middle. The only thing you might need to worry about is up at the top. I've got no direct fans on those apart from the power supply. but we'll see. Right, so let's put all these drives in this machine, taking them out the QNAP one by one, and I will fly through this quickly. So this ODD fixation, odd fixation. So I have got to make an odd fixation. That kind of goes in there and locks it. Fair enough. There we go. TrueNAS Scale installation. There's no microcode error, please update. Cool. Install upgrade. I installed it to 64 gig. This has TrueNAS on it before. I was messed about another machine, so erase, yes. Administrative user admin, give it a password. $16 gig swap if you want. Allow EFI boot. Guess so. That'll be interesting actually. Legacy BIOS boot workaround. That PCI Express adapter that has the 64 gig SSD on it. I assume that is EFI bootable. I guess we'll find out. You can't quite see this. This is now just doing extracting, and it is only USB 2 thumb drive, so it'll be quicker with a USB 3 one. 95% reboot, and we'll remove the installation media. We have an IP address, so I picked up DHCP. So let's switch to the GUI. So that was HTTPS 192.168.100.47. Same password as my other TrueNAS, so there we go. So you can see there it's picked up the Xeon CPU, doing very little, no pools, no datasets. Okay, so first of all I want to do networking. So network. So you can see that must be the two Broadcom ones. And these two random ones must be the Intel ones, because that's a 0 and a 1 there. Right, first of all I'm just going to jump over to my Netgear switch. Under lag I've got, these are the two ports I'm using. I'm going to call it a better name than that. Let's call it CH3 TrueNAS. No, what do I call the other one? It's not very helpful. Okay, CH3. Let's call this TrueNAS 2. This one here is my original TrueNAS 1. Right. So I need a link aggregation. Let's call it bond 0. LACP 3 and 4. That one and that one. VLAN 11 0 11 save, and bridge BR11 VLAN 11. So let's go back here, make sure that is DHCP is still on the existing network interface. Now test changes, confirm. There we go. Save those. I can add bridge BR10. Oh, I don't have a VLAN 10, have I? If I do want to use that other VLAN 10, there we go. So I have a BR10. If I do want to spin up any VMs on this that use VLAN 10, I can. So there we go. So you create the aggregate interface. So you have the two default interfaces that they're sitting there, no configuration of them. Then you create the aggregate interface, the bond, binds them together. Then you create the VLANs. Then you create the bridge interface with the IP address of that VLAN. And you can see here that I have got a VLAN on that L3. I'm allowing VLAN 10 and 11 tagged. Nothing's untagged, so I allow both VLANs on there. Okay, one thing I did forget was the default gateway. So I've had to jump another machine that's on the same subnet. I forgot to do network down here, IPv4 default gateway. Save. And now I can access this back here. Using a new IP of 250.201. So I want to change a couple of things. So I want to change what do I want to change? Network settings, TrueNAS 2. Forgot about that. I want to join this to AD. Let's first kick this off. Is to create a pool. So let's just call this pool 1. And I'm going to do RAID Z2, so I can use 2 disks for parity. That's plenty for me. Manual disk. I want to do add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't care about log. I don't care about spare. What do I want? Rated 5 and a spare. Okay, here's a rated 1 plus spare versus rated 2, which is what I'm doing. Stop overcomplicating it and just use rated 2. Should be pinned top of the sub. Okay, rated 2 is rated 1 with even not a spare. Fine. Cache, I don't have anything to use cache. I can't use OS disk, can I? Metadata, don't care about that. Dedupe, don't care about that. Review, create pool. .1 terabytes. Sound about right. Rated 2.6 wide. Perfect. Right, I want to join my local AD. So I created a user already, and it looks like it's gone healthy. There we go. So now I can do SMB. Let's actually do services. I want SMB on automatic. SSH on automatic. Shares add. Create me a data set. I'm going to call this share. Oh, I don't care about that. I now have a share called share. Disk. Temperature 44, 35, 39, 38, 51, it's a bit warm, 54, 51. Oh, this time's wrong. UK London. Anyway, so that's how you build a TrueNAS with a pool of disks with an SMB share that's joined to a domain. So I've got my users of my domain can get to it. Yeah, you can come in here and look, it's picked up by domain users on my domain. Perfect. Alright, just want to show here, this is copying at 4 gig inside this RDP session, and I've got, this is copied off my PC here to the same destination for 1 gig. So that just shows you LACP is working. Quick word on power. So the old QNAP used around about 80 watts. Doesn't really matter if it was idling or busy. It was always around about that. And this new box is only using 88 watts. So that's not bad at all for a much more capable machine. I did also end up cutting these little bits of it's like a plastic grill out and removing the 3.5 inch bay covers in the 5.25 inch adapters, so it lets some airflow, which knocked about 5 degrees off of the drive temps, so that helped a lot. Alright, well thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.